What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, XRP, LTC, and DGB. That's what we're going to go through. It's going to be in that order. And first of all, guys, I want to start out talking about Bitcoin here. And what you're seeing is that we're testing back up again to that $12,000 region. So in my opinion, what's so important is for us to close up above the previous candle close, the height that we had of around 11,000, we'll call it 805, 810, right in that range. If we can close above that today, that may signal enough to get up over top of 12,280 is going to be my next overhead resistance that then we would want to turn into support. And the reason why we want to wait today and really pay attention to this candle close is because if this ends up being a super long wick, we almost had what would be considered a horn top. When you have these long wicks, it's kind of like tweezer tops, but it's about a week apart is what it would be. So it's important for us to close up above these areas and not just have a super long wick here to where we'd have to start retracing again and see if we can start building back up. You see what I'm saying here? The RSI is at 70 right now, and we have to realize a lot of times in the cryptocurrency space, crypto runs from about 65 up into the, I'd say, low 90s, like 93, 94. That's the area where you can catch most of the moves a lot of the times. It's like they'll start around 65 or 70 when traditionally in markets that 70 is overbought conditions. So it's just a little bit different for cryptocurrency. And I'd really watch for those 90s before you sell out of positions when it's really moving hard to the upside. High 80s, 90s. If you're seeing some type of candlestick formation along with like an overhead resistance, when the RSI is up at that level, that's most likely when you're going to get a cool off period. So I want to put that out there for you. Really pay attention to those high numbers, because a lot of times now that we have been moving and we broke out of this symmetrical triangle, out of the consolidation, it's important that this move continues to stay and this uptrend continues. And remember, in uptrends, you want to be buying those dips and you want to be holding for the extensions that come in the market, those impulse waves. When you're in a downtrend, you don't want to be, you either want to be in cash or you want to be shorting the market. So it's important that we broke out of this on heavier volume. So now what we need is even more volume to get up over top of that $12,280 is what we're going to be looking at there. In terms of support, if we do dump hard and all of a sudden we need more time to cool down on this RSI and we want to go back, to 55, 60, somewhere in that range, I'd look at that 10,562 previous resistance that we broke up through. We wicked back, we found support off this, and it's also going to correlate with the 30 moving average or 30 EMA, which in my opinion is extremely important. What I'm looking at here is the 15 moving average, the 30 EMA, and the 60 moving average is what I'm paying attention to there. And this is on the 1-day time frame. You can see momentum. We do have those lower highs that have been coming in. So we do want to pay attention to that as we're trying to push up into higher levels. But just be aware, RSI is at 70 right now. This could be all the more that we cool down. If we really could get some type of, strong, I'd say like almost belt hold line candle to the upside here, that may be enough to get us through that 12,280. But we're just going to have to see where it closes today and what amount of wick that we end up having up here, and if we're able to get over top of the previous candle close high that we've been to. So if that's Bitcoin, guys, if you get something from that, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, trying for 200 likes on this video. And then next we're going to be getting into Ethereum. And if we take a look at ETH, it's at $397 right now. It's up about 1.8%. Same thing with ETH here. ETH last time pushed up to about 92 on the RSI, so that's another example. We hit 92. We also had this super long wick, heavier volume to the downside. Guys were taking their profits. And now we've basically been so bullish, we've just been moving sideways right now. And I believe what we're waiting for as we move sideways, we're almost going to get into one of those pennant formations and then potentially have that next leg to the upside. Like I said, guys, sometimes we don't cool down that much when these runs are really taking place and they're happening. So I want you to be aware of that. Now, if we are to start retracing more and falling to the downside, my target area would be around $332. That's going to correlate with a previous overhead resistance area that we wanted to turn to support. We wicked down. We did find buyers in that area. And also that 30 is very important, that 30 EMA in my opinion. A lot of times when we cool down and it's more than just to that 15 moving average, we drop to that purple line, that 30. And we have had our green cross back here. We have not crossed negative. So if you're a long-term holder investor, Not financial advice, but this is where you want to continue to stay and hold those positions. Let them ride, guys. Even if it retraces back to that 332 and you've been in from earlier, let the market cool down, let it ride again, let it rip. If this is really going to be the start of the bull market and this is serious, then we're going to be having impulse waves to the upside, and we're going to have those nice retracements, those cooling down periods of sometimes of 20% or more before we rip again. It's just how this game works, so be aware of that. So that's going to be Ethereum, guys. 332 support, overhead resistance, 417 is what I'm going to look at. RSI right now is at 72, and our momentum is moving to the downside right now. We still are having those lower highs and lower lows, so let's pay attention to the momentum as well. Next, we're going to get into Link. Link's been the big dog here. It took third place there in overall market cap for a while. Let's take a look. Still may be there. Link is at $13.66. This is a very impressive move that we had here, because we even did have some negative divergence. But guys, we can get up into those 90s like we've talked about for the RSI, and it wasn't done yet. So once we broke out of this yellow trend line and we candle closed there, that would have been the spot to buy. Like I said, I've been in other positions. I played 2 Link positions, both in profit, and then I wasn't back in them. And obviously I've missed this move here, but I'm in other things as well. And that's just the name of the game, guys. You got to bounce back and forth, see what looks good, and make your moves here. But to anyone who's in a Link position, I'm happy for you right now. This is great. What I wanted you to be aware of today is the candle close here. It's kind of looking like almost like a hanging man candle, a little bit more wick on the top. We had some decent wick when we went up to about 1452. So that is some selling pressure right up in that area. People taking their profits, and then we're going to have to see what happens with this candle today. But with these candles, even back here where this was a hanging man candle, that's going to give you caution in the market, and then you want to wait for the following day to see if you have that confirmation of a downside. It's more so just a warning. So like up in here, you wouldn't want to sell out on your position yet. Say we even close like that, you'd want to see what happens the following day. Is it going to be a nasty bearish candle, like a bearish engulfing candle? Then that could show you that we may retrace back down to $8.92. If not, and that's all we have, the next day could be one of these Mayor Bazoo candles almost. You know, I know this has wick on it. Mayor Bazoos are typically shaven on both, but this is the size of one of them, just the actual body here. I mean, that's a very powerful move that we ended up going from $10.14 in terms of the close up to $12.79 in one day. That's this market, guys. Very powerful. So right now we're at 83 on the RSI. We are starting to cool down a little bit, getting some selling pressure. So wait to see where this candle closes today. If you are in Link positions longer term, not financial advice, is where you want to continue to let them ride. Shorter term traders, I'm sure they're going to be taking some profit, and you can see that by the longer wicks up here. Typically when we get longer wicks, we get about a 15 to 20% sell off. But you know, we have no overhead resistance for real. It's blue sky breakouts, and Link can do whatever the heck Link wants to do. We're at 1370, guys. So congratulations to anyone who's in that right now. Next, we're going to be going to XRP. XRP is at 29.5 cents here. We have cooled down. We got close to our 15 moving average. Wick pretty close to it. Our low was 0.27779. And now what you've seen is a series of wicks up top here. So that's why today's candle close is going to be important. We want it to be up higher, and this would almost be like a bullish engulfing candle, a smaller one, but it would still engulf the previous day, which is what we would want. We want it to come on heavier volume, and we want to start moving to the upside. There are RSIs at 72, so we are in that overbought conditions, but like we talked about, guys, we really can get overextended here. You know, even this could be our lower high, and then we come back up here and try to attack 31 cents. So my next overhead resistance that I'm really going to be watching are these tweezer tops that we had up in here. And that's going to be around 0.31026 is going to be the area of overhead resistance that we need to get up over top of, like we said, on heavier volume. Hopefully this can turn to like a bullish engulfing candle today. That would be nice with some follow through. And, you know, guys, for XRP, when it runs so hard and so fast. It almost looks like this could be your first wave, and then we retrace to our second. This could have been a monster 3, then this could be our 4, and then we could push up for our 5 as a potential as well. You know, so there's just all types of different things I'm looking at for XRP. I would look, you know, I'd be a buyer at XRP if it retraced back to around 25 cents. That'd be a nice area if we did roll down even more. That was a previous resistance area as well. You know, some guys may be even hopping in right in this area now to see if we can kick back up to about that 32 cent area. And then if we get into trading view for XRP, we're looking at a 2 sell, 9 neutral, 17 buy. We're looking at oscillators, 1 sell, 8 neutral, and a 2 buy. Moving average is looking strong there. So we're just going to have to see if this is our high or low. and we're going to push up again here, guys. So that's going to be important. If you're here for XRP, let me know down low. Hit that like, guys, subscribe, and we'll get into Litecoin next. Litecoin's been a little bit behind. Let's take a look where we have it here. These are all the coins that I'm looking at. So for Litecoin, we're trying to find support right now off this 15 moving average. That may be the area that we get a little bounce off of here. Our RSI is at 63, so it's more cooled down than other coins, so we could potentially pump from this area. If we don't get a bounce here, and this isn't our high or low, I would look down to $52.21. It's going to be the area. Then it'd be back to around $50. This overhead resistance that we wanted to turn to support. We have not back tested that yet. And that would also correlate with this 60 moving average as well. But we have had our green cross. We have started to cool down here. We're going to see if this is our high or low. If we push up, we're going to be looking to get over top of $61.96 and be around that $63.75 that we wicked up through. Then there could be a nice little gap from there up to around $80 if we are to go that way. So those are your supports. Those are your resistance. RSI is at 63, more cooled down. Momentum's still moving to the downside here, but we're starting to flatten out just a little bit for Litecoin. If we get into our trading view, the technicals on the 1 day, we're looking at a 2 sell, 9 neutral, 17 buy, oscillators, 2 sell, 8 neutral, 1 buy, moving averages looking strong there. So we're just going to have to see if this is a spot here. If this is like a bullish engulfing candle, we get a nice close today on some above average volume, guys. Most likely we'll come back up here and try to test 61.84, 63.75, some of those areas there, but still be cautious. But, if you're long term in Litecoin, this is still the area. You want to hold them and let them ride from this point here, and let's see what happens. So, not financial advice, and we'll get into Digibyte next. All right, so Digibyte making a really nice move here, guys. So it has continued up with this 15, this 30, this 60. This was our symmetrical triangle. We broke out, we back tested. Here's our first move out of here. Only thing, this little suspect here, the volume isn't above average yet. We're going to have to wait to see where the day ends up coming, but we want those big sticks of volume to continue this move here. So we potentially can go up and even hit that 4-cent range. But guys, I mean, this is how this market moves. These uptrends, when they happen very fast, and the sell-offs happen very fast. Take a look at this, just to point stuff out for you here. This sell-off in 2 days before we kept moving to the upside here, sold off 40% before we ripped again, and then another 40. Then we tried to go up again. I mean, that's just the name of this game. So be ready for swings. In terms of Digibyte, this one where I'd say I wouldn't try to trade it the most because the volatility of it is just so wild and the books are thin. This is more so one, if you have confidence in it and you think Digibyte's going to be higher than 3 cents and all that, then that's where you want to, continue to hold Digibyte and look at it as a long-term investment. That's the way that I look at Digibyte, at least. Grab some of them, hold on for the long term, and let's see what happens, because it is a good project, something that I've looked into before. But I think trading it's difficult with the super long wicks as well. I mean, even the wicks down in here, guys. So you can't really use a stop loss. You're talking 55% on 2 wicks this day back to back. So you can't really set stop losses. That's why it's a tough one to trade here. But if we get into trading view, looking great. We have a strong buy, 1 sell, 9 neutral, 18 buy. This here could just continue to move up, guys. We could hit 3.5 cents very quickly here. So if you're in your Digibyte positions, continue to ride them out. God bless each and every one of you guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Take care.